Hi, I'm Doug Keck. This is an EWTN Bookmark Brief. Just had the great pleasure of speaking with our good friend here at EWTN, Dr. Scott Hahn, about the Lenten Cookbook by David Geiser with essays by Dr. Hahn. Tell us, Dr. Hahn, how did this book come about?
Well, I was approached by Sophia, Charlie McKinney, about doing a book that would explain the spiritual disciplines, but also help Catholics to have a joyful rediscovery of what you could characterize as prayerful self-restraint and rediscovering these disciplines that go back to antiquity. And in the process, I thought, you know what? I need this. Maybe others do too. And so, Charlie, absolutely, positively, I would look forward to coming up with some essays that get into not only the joy of fasting, but the spiritual disciplines that we all need.
Well, what is it, do you think, a book like this would help a Catholic today understand about the importance of Lent and then thus the importance of fasting?
Well, I think most Catholics approach Lent with dread, understandably. But when St. Benedict proposed his rule, in the Rule of Benedict, the only time the word joy occurs is when he expresses the need for his brothers to experience the joy of Lent. The more closely we identify ourselves with Christ, the more radically we identify ourselves with him carrying the cross, but also undergoing the temptations in the wilderness. It doesn't mean we have to fast for 40 days, but we recognize that the 40 days of Lent, so-called, represent a period of testing, a period of trial, but also a period of spiritual growth. And so there is room for dread, but there's also greater room for joy. And so this joyful rediscovery of Lent is what this book is all about.
One thing that struck me, and you talk about St. Martin's Day and a little bit about Advent, because sometimes we forget that Advent is somewhat penitential as well, right?
That's right. I mean, Advent is the preparation for the celebration of Christmas, and of course, Lent is the penitential preparation for the celebration of Easter. And so there is a certain rhythm to life. And so you inhale and you exhale, but you also sacrifice. You work for 6 days and prepare for the Sabbath and the Old. And then, of course, the resurrection of Jesus on the Lord's Day, Sunday. Every Sunday is meant to be a little Easter, but at the same time, every Friday is meant to be a little Lent. So in recovering Lent, we're going to also rediscover the rhythm of living a Catholic life throughout the whole year and throughout all of our lives.
Let me ask you one question, just as an observation, as a convert as well. Are you always surprised the number of people who seem to really want to make sure they show up to get ashes?
Absolutely. I mean, it is the best attended service of the year, sometimes surpassing Christmas and Easter.
Right.
You know, and I think there's something okay about that if it's not entirely righteous, because it's a way of reconnecting not only with your childhood perhaps, but also with other people who happen to be Catholics and are ordinarily just too busy or afraid to admit it to each other.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, Dr. Hahn, for those essays and wonderful, wonderful, of course, recipes in this Lenten cookbook by David Geiser, who people may remember has been on EWTN before, a wonderful chef residing in Zurich and used to be part of the Swiss Guard. And this has been an EWTN Bookmark Brief. You can check the book out through our EWTN Religious Catalog, EWTNRC.com, all things Catholic. Look for the entire interview I did with Dr. Hahn on our website, that is on demand, and our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.